Let me give another example of the systems of proving that Allah exists found in the Quran. So the first system is the probability theory, is the order system. This order is improbable, scientifically speaking. Okay, another proof of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the philosophy, logic. Unfortunately, many of our scholars, when they mention or logic is mentioned, suddenly they become sensitive and they feel that logic is something that we should avoid and philosophy is something that we should avoid and it doesn't fit with Islam. Wallahi, they are totally wrong. Alhamdulillah, I studied Sharia deeply and I studied philosophy deeply. And let me give you a statement that summarizes this. Nadim al-Jisr, one of the greatest scholars from Lebanon, Trablus, Lebanon, he wrote a book called Qissat al-Iman. So he talks about philosophy. The book is about philosophy. And he says, philosophy is a sea. Philosophy is like a sea that is different than any other sea. Usual seas, if you stay at the shore, you are safe. If you go deep inside them, you might drown. Except philosophy. If you stay at the shore, you get lost. But when you go deep inside it, you will see Tawheed in its fullest. So for those who would like to read philosophy, study philosophy, and you might find some people arguing with you using philosophy, remember this. If they did not reach Tawheed, then they are on the surface of philosophy. They did not go deep. So don't challenge them to leave philosophy. They're already there. They already entered. Ask them to go deep into philosophy. Then they will be saved. Amazing, different. So philosophy uses special proofs. Logic has a special proofs. There was a class of philosophy in one of the American universities, and they taught them logic, and I studied that, and we studied what we call fallacies, which is false logic. And I know how to use false logic, and I can deceive you easily using false logic because it looks like logic, but it is not. So in the end of the class, there was a final exam, and the teacher chose to give his students one question only. Prove using logic that this chair doesn't exist. And you can prove it using fallacies. But there was a very smart boy in the classroom who wrote 2 words and submitted the paper. And he got full mark. He wrote, "What chair?" It doesn't exist. There is no chair. So I don't need to prove that there is no chair. So what chair? So it really challenges the human brain. Anything that we use, we must prove using logic. Now the question comes, if I prove it using logic, What makes me sure that this logic is correct? So I must prove logic. So what makes me comfortable that the proof I used to prove logic was correct? So we continue until we reach a point that all philosophers agree upon, and that is the initial logic. Initial logic means that these are statements of logic that need no proof because they prove themselves and because all humans will agree to them without needing a proof. Amazing. So let me give you one. And I'm not talking outside my subject. I'm talking Quran. Because Quran used logic and used initial logic and answered to fallacies that the unbelievers used. It's all there in the Quran. So let me give you one. One of the initial logic principles is called circular proof is wrong. Circular proof or circular statements are wrong. This goes beyond any proof. Example: A created B, B created C, C created A. Is that possible? No, it's impossible. Because where was A before C created him? So you're going in a circle. Circular statements are impossible. So this is by going by 3. Let's go by circulars of 2. A created B, B created A. Is that possible? No. Because one of them has to exist before the other, and each one created the other, so it is impossible. Wallahi, you'll be surprised. All of this is in the Quran. Let's take singular circles. A created A. Is that possible? No. Because it's a circular statement. So this, which sounds very difficult to understand, is written in the Quran in so easily to understand words that uses all the proofs without any feeling from anyone, whether they are scholars or general people, that it is philosophy. But it is in the depth of philosophy. An example. And then again, these are the proofs of the existence of Allah in the Quran. That's what the Quran uses. The Quran doesn't tell you have to believe in Allah. He is one. There's no proof if you say that. You must. Some people, you must show them the proof. So let's go to the philosophical or logical proofs of Allah in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ بَلْ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. What are the possibilities? First possibility, nothing created us. We were created by chance. We said it is impossible. The Quran says, do they think they have been created from nothing? It's just throwing this statement. It is, because it's impossible. Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. That's the first statement. أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ. Second statement. أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. Did they create themselves? See, we're using circular proof. Impossible. He's answering them. He's using philosophy. أم خلق السماوات والأرض. Some people say we were created by nature. So the question is, who created nature? So the Quran answers this. It says, أم خلق السماوات والأرض. Did they create heavens and earth, nature? And then that nature created them? It's circular. It is impossible. But when you read it in the Quran, if you don't know logic and philosophy, you don't feel anything. When you understand the second subsection, and that is logical proofs. And the Quran, by the way, is full of that. But for those who didn't study logic and philosophy, they just pass by them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending this Quran to an illiterate man in the jungles of Africa and to the greatest philosopher in America. The same book. And they both will read it, and each will understand according to their level. So, this is the second section of the first chapter, the proofs of Allah. Of course, there are many others.